What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. Now today we're going to follow up on a video that we did coming back to last year, and that was why MLB The Show 17 was better than MLB The Show 18, and now we're going to talk about why MLB The Show 19 is also better than MLB The Show 18. But before we get into that, if you guys could please leave a like down below on this video, definitely helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you guys are new, really would appreciate that, and comment down below what makes MLB The Show 19 better or worse in your opinion than MLB The Show 18. Which edition do you think was better? But here are my 5 reasons why I believe MLB The Show 19 is still considerably better than MLB The Show 18, even given the problems that I will address towards the end of the video. But the first thing I want to talk about is just having a variety of cards and having them be competitive. Now, I went back and did some research. I just looked on MLB The Show 18. There are 98 Legend or Flashback cards that you can currently buy on the market right now. Just 98 after the entirety of the game dropped, and 61 of those are above 90 overall. Currently, on August 25th, there are 231 Diamond, Legend, or Flashback cards obtainable on the market on MLB The Show 19, and 134 of those are above 90 overall. And if you look, we pretty much have 2 full pages of pretty much 99 and 18 a page. That is probably about 30, about 28 or so that we have 99 overalls on the market right now. And that is probably because a lot more of the cards last year, if you think about the Immortals, you could not buy them on the market, but there are so many cards that you cannot obtain on the market that are also within Diamond Dynasty. Think about the XP reward path, which is a thing of its own. I think this is so much better than the ticket counter. You don't have to collect 2 currencies basically being your XP and tickets. Instead, you get XP for simply playing the game, and you get good rewards for it. And then, you know, of course, we have the 99 overall signature pack at each level up, like gold 1, diamond 1, and so on and so forth. And then you have like the signature Kershaw and so on. So there are just so much better cards, and there's better ways to unlock these cards. It's not mindlessly grinding like I'll talk in a little bit. I just think it is much improved on last year, and the biggest thing is that these cards are competitive. Remember, Immortals were the one card to rule them all at every position. Eventually we got more Immortals, so there was a bit of diversity, I guess, but still not all that much. Today, in this year's Diamond Dynasty, there's tons of different cards that you can field out there. If you think about first base, for example, you have Lou Gehrig and Frank Thomas, who I believe are probably 1A and 1B for first base, but there's also tons of other options. If you think about a 99 Joey Votto, who is really good, this Paul Goldschmidt, some people have liked this Willie McCovey. Then you got, you know, more underrated guys like Keith Hernandez, but he goes for under 20,000 stubs, and you're getting a 98 overall card. That's another thing. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I'm really happy that we have really good cards that don't go for a lot on the market. So there's tons of variety, tons of different ways that you can field out your team. The next thing I want to talk about is content frequency. This is a big one, of course, falls right in line with how in-depth your game is, of course, because MLB The Show, give it what it's may, you know, they really didn't do much improvements to franchise Road to the Show, their offline game modes. Some people might say they have, you know, they have marginable changes where you can do playable training, but I've tried it before. It's really not that great. It is not much of an improvement at all. It's still pretty stale, pretty lifeless, and I think they really need to shape up those 2 modes in order to get it back on the right ship for offline players, because I'm more of a Diamond Dynasty player, of course, but it is not fair, and yeah, they are definitely getting shafted year in and year out. But if you think about MLB The Show as a live service game, kind of how you consider Madden and 2K and all the other sports titles at this point that mostly feature, pay attention to their online game modes, their card team building game modes such as Diamond Dynasty right here, we have a lot more frequency in content. We're getting something every week, and that's something that we didn't always have last year. Sometimes it might just be the headliners, which is 2 brand new signature cards, but then we also have moments. We're also gonna have the top Snell moments every week. Those are really the only 2 guaranteed things that we have seen at this point. You know, roster updates are still bi-weekly. I wish maybe those could be weekly. I think that would be a good thing, but you know, it seems like they're pretty set. The last 2 years they've done it every other week. But then events is something I do want to talk about quickly. That's one gripe that I have in content. I know we're getting an event on Thursday, but events, I don't think we've had one in a bit over a week. So they have been better events than last year, but they just haven't really hit the same in my opinion. At start, we had really bad events that had like gold rewards when pretty much everybody had diamond teams at that point. So events have been something that has kind of missed the mark in my opinion, but on the real, content frequency has been a big thing. They have been doing a good job of it, and I hope they continue to do that. If you guys look at the future content set right here, we have a lot coming out. Hopefully that it isn't going to die past late October, but I'm pretty sure not, because we're still going to have other stuff that is to come. So I'm excited for that, and I think they're going to do a good job. The last thing I want to talk about specifically with Diamond Dynasty is the quality of life changes. They really delivered on stuff that we've wanted for quite some time. The first one, the most obvious, is multiple lineups. We've been asking for this since as long as I can remember, and we'd all get the same copy pasta answer where the servers couldn't handle it for some reason, which I always found ridiculous considering you know, 2K, Madden, all those other games were able to have multiple lineups. I thought that was just a BS answer for so long, and it probably was. They just didn't want to put it in for whatever reason, but we do finally have it. You can create up to 4 lineups, which is plenty for the most part. I don't really find myself ever needing more than 4. It's plenty to have your regular team. You know, Conquest, what I have labeled here is usually like a grind team that I have for Conquest. Obviously, this is a team build that I'm gonna be working on with my hometown team, and then my favorite team, the Rays, of course. And then you can also have another one built for, you know, just grinding out team affinities or something like that. So they definitely have all bases covered there. You can sell cards directly from opening up a pack. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you do this, considering you can, you know, sell them for more, but, you know, if you really want to, you can just sell a card like this. Sometimes it is worth it to just sell off like a stadium like that, but it is available if you want. Also with packs, is showing pack odds. Are they necessarily realistic? I would hope so. You know, obviously they're legally obligated to display the accurate pack odds, which they have, so I don't doubt that these are what they are. Sometimes it just doesn't seem like that, as we all know, but I'm glad that they put that in. They definitely are not required to. I know Madden's done that. I think FIFA has that, but I know 2K does not, and it's something that they probably should get on to doing. World Series rewards now come out as soon as you earn them. Something else that I'm really happy that I was talking about last year that I really hope that they did for this year. And now once you reach World Series, you don't have to wait until the end of the month. You simply pick what card you want and you can go ahead and sell it. So I am a big fan of them doing that. Comparing tools is something that they did add as well throughout right here. The only thing is I wish you could do this on the market, kind of like I know you can on Madden. So it's great that I can compare, like, let me actually have a fair comparison, because Donaldson and Nick Senzel isn't exactly fair. Let's do bum-ass Matt Kemp. So let's just look at Ronald Acuna. You know, it's great. We can see Matt Kemp is obviously the better player, but there's no way actually to check on the market. So I'd have to pretty much take a screenshot of a guy's stats and just flip back and forth or stuff like that. It is not all that simple, so that's one thing I would request for next year. And then finally, the UI is just a lot more easy to comprehend. Last year I thought it was a lot of a jumbled mess, and you know, now this year it's a lot better. We have a calendar, which is great for people that don't regularly go on Twitter, so they can see like what content is coming out. They can see the roster updates this day we're getting signature teams, this day SDS is having a live stream. So I think that's a great addition to keep people in the loop and, you know, coming out and being ready for that content to drop. Talking a bit about gameplay, I'm not going to say gameplay's better. I'm not going to say that it's worse. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I wasn't a big fan of MLB 18's gameplay, and I'm not a big fan of MLB 19's gameplay. Is there better things 18 did? Yup. Is there better things 19 did? Yes. And one thing in particular I want to talk about is contact hitters, because that was probably one of my biggest gripes with gameplay in MLB The Show 18. You guys probably remember if you played there. You know, contact hitters weren't that viable. You know, it's just kind of how the hitting worked last year. It was a little bit weird. Basically, they had it where the contact stat almost made it so just you're connecting with the baseball. And if you had a guy like Ichiro, for example, 93 Ichiro, which is one of my favorite, if not my favorite card in the entirety of Diamond Dynasty that I've used, he has pretty much no power. He has 38 and 30 power, and that's obviously not very good, but he can actually hit the ball pretty hard and get decent exit velocities. And the reason for that is because contact now matters, measures more of a hard hit baseball, and power is just going to get you more of a fly ball feel, and you're going to obviously hit more home runs. Fair to say, I don't hit home runs really that regularly with Ichiro, but he does hit the ball hard, and that is able to make him a very good card. Some people might say those guys are the best in the game. If I think about Tony Gwynn, he's probably one of my most reliable hitters. Maxed out contact, maxed out vision, power just around 70, but I do super well with him. I hit 313 in over 530 at bats, and he even has an OPS of right around 900, and I'm by no means the best hitter around the MLB The Show parts regardless. So I think they really did a lot better of a job with that. Last year people were running Joey Gallo. World Series players were running Joey Gallo just because he had so much damn power. So I think that is a pretty good thing that they did. So it's just making more players, even more variety to lineups, and having guys that you might not have tried out last year and actually are really good this year. And the last thing I want to talk about is new ways to play, specifically the moments. I've talked about this previously. This is probably my favorite new addition to MLB The Show 19, and yes, it more so caters to Diamond Dynasty, as the rewards will, be like diamond cards. They're going to be card packs that you're primarily going to use in Diamond Dynasty, but, I could see you playing like a storyline. So if you're a baseball fan and want to relive some of the great moments in Babe Ruth's history or so on, that's available for you too. But in terms of Diamond Dynasty, it took away from the grind where you would just play the rookie computer and you just mindlessly grinded stats. I always did not like that. I thought there was it was just redundant. It was not fun. There was no enjoyableness within it, and you can say that moments are difficult. I definitely think some are easier than others, and there are some challenging ones that are going to frustrate you, but I like it more all in all. I think it is better. There are still things that they can do to improve on them. For example, if you were to think about like pitching moments, I think it would be better if you don't have to have your pitcher get a hit. Just take out the ability for the pitcher, basically put in a designated hitter for times where it is called for, because it is kind of annoying to just get an at bat if you're trying to get through at least as fast as possible. I don't want to bat with Chris Sale when that has nothing to do with the moment, or sometimes it's really frustrating when your defense can't field it. So maybe if you took out the player lock aspect within there and you only pitch but you could still do the defense, I think that could take out some of the anger and frustration for people. So I think that could be a good idea that they could do there. And then one other thing is multi-game moments. It would be cool if they found a way to string those together where you don't have to go back to the start every time. It is a bit annoying, I would say, for sure, that you have to play that game, and then even if you don't do very good, let's just say you wasted that entire experience, you went 0 for 4, you have to back out, you have to reset it, and then you're playing 2 games. So that's just another thing for moments that I would recommend. And then they also have March to October. I haven't really dove into that all that deep. I think for what it's worth, it's a cool addition. Maybe once. I don't see this as something that you would necessarily replay. Maybe there's people that have tried to take every team through March to October and win the World Series. It's a cool kind of way to play a shortened season, a shortened franchise, I would say, and you have just like moments and in-game moments. You're not playing every game, so I think that is cool. And then they expanded Conquest a little bit once again for Diamond Dynasty players. Last year I think we only had 3 Conquest maps the entire time, the regular US map, and then we had Conquest Extreme and then Conquest Destiny coming out really late in the year. This year we have new Conquest map for each featured program that comes out, and then we've also seen a couple different variants. So all in all, I think this game is much better than MLB The Show 18. I'm enjoying it more. I'm enjoying making content for it more, and I enjoy playing it more. I think all in all, it is better. By all means, there are bad things about this game. The hitting engine is one in particular, but it's important to understand that's not something that they're going to be able to fix this year. And once you kind of realize that, it's a lot better. Just in my opinion, it's definitely warranted to get frustrated over it, and I at times definitely do as well. But it is just something important to understand, and you just gotta hope that next year is the year. And I know it gets tired of saying that because we've been saying that since MLB 17 when they first introduced this brand new hitting engine. It wasn't good in 17, it wasn't good in 18, it wasn't good in 19. What makes us think that the next year it is finally going to get hit and they're finally going to get it right? But you just have to hope. But like I said, let me know down below in the comment section what makes MLB The Show 19 better or worse than MLB The Show 18 in your opinion. Leave a like down below if you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. There's some